A little while ago, my neighbours decided to pull out every single plant they had in between us and them and replace them with a couple of ugly fence panels, but left a major gap on the side so that I can still see them when they're sitting on their terrace. And you know what, lovely people, but I don't have to see them all the time. And it's also not the case that we're running around the garden with gimp masks and anal tails. But I prefer my privacy. So today I'm going to have to fill the hole that was left. I actually filled it a little while ago, but they didn't do so well. So I moved the cherry laurel from the front to the back. I have a two-finger rule in the garden. You know, you either live or you die. And I clearly thought, fine, that one died. But it didn't. That one there didn't really do so well. I watered it every single day, but I have to say I didn't really get enough root out of it. So I thought, fine, you know what, again, you know the whole concept, two choices, live or die. And it decided to die, so I thought. This is the way it looks right now, and then all of a sudden here, it started growing. So in seeing that it decided to live, and I thought, fine, you know what, I'm going to give it another chance. I'm obviously going to take it out where it is because I have a bamboo back there, which I would rather have, you know, in the position where the laurel is. This is where the cherry laurel is going to go. This Fargesia here will go into its place, so I don't have to see my neighbours. Also, the beauty about this one is it grows really, really tight, and, you know, what, 2.20 meters tall, and that'll be fine. So I don't have to look after it again. I just have to water it, feed it, as you always do. And you know what, it's a little bit far away from the house right now because it is quite beautiful. So I thought, fine, fuck it, put it there, and put the cherry laurel here. Is it fair to move the plant again? No, it is not. But on the other hand, I don't necessarily want to wait a few years before it's kind of like, you know, grown shut, so it needs to go. I just prepared the hole, and in this garden, every single time when you have exposed earth, it becomes a cat toilet. So that was rather unpleasant. Not that I mean, I'm quite happy that we've got cats because they kill the mice and that sort of stuff, but you know what, why can't they just shit in their own bloody owners' gardens? So arrived at the hole, and also another thing I do before I start yanking anything out of the ground, I water it 2 or 3 days beforehand, pretty much every single day, so that there's nice and moist soil around the root ball. And yeah, what else can you do? Anyway, let's pop it in the hole. And that's fun. And I'm hot as usual. Anyway, what I don't do, I don't put compost or anything in the bottom of the hole because of the fact I want the roots to spread. So if I put compost, all the goodness and every single thing in the bottom of the hole, they're just staying there, and I don't want that. So anything at all I'm going to put, if I put any compost anywhere, I'll put it on top, a layer. But, and maybe I should have cut some of the twigs off because, oh, really painful. All I'm going to do right now is water it in, and come back in a little while to have a look if the soil has sunk in, maybe put some more on, put a little bit of compost on top, and obviously I'm going to cut it because it does look a little shit. As you can see, I butchered the plant, but basically, you know, when you start cutting off and it's just the stem inside is just brown, you're thinking, fine, you know what, I'm just going by what the plant is telling me. And it hasn't survived, obviously, in some parts. Other parts have, so I just thought, fuck it, just cut it down, cut it right down. Yeah, it looks a bit sad, but you know what, let's have a look. I'm going to put an update on in a few months, years, centuries, whatever, to have a look how big it is become if it grows. But you know what, again, some of the stuff you just have to try. And I know that some of the gardeners probably going to go, what? But you know what? Trial and error thing. Oh, by the way, every single time when you want to move bamboo, do not move bamboo on a hot day because it just doesn't work for the plant. An overcast day like today, and obviously, look what I'm wearing, not the warmest, is the best day to move it. Well, I guess rain would be good too, but I just don't like working in the rain. Call me a pussy, I don't care. So, yes, not on a hot summer's day. And it's now September. What I also don't do, I don't move bamboos at the beginning of, you know, spring or the middle of spring. Well, spring to midsummer, I don't move them, put it that way. Because that is when the culm's coming up and when they're actually developing. And once the leaves are on, you also know that the culm isn't going to get any bigger. And that is the time when I think, you know, you should move them. And then obviously they have a little bit of time to establish in the ground as well. And again, as I mentioned before, trying to get as much root and soil as you can. So yeah, dig a bigger hole, that's just the way it goes, but at least then the plant is not going to get too stressed. You personally will get stressed because it is so much work to dig them up, but you know what, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Get some string and tie the bamboo together. Plant bondage, and it makes things easier. Trust me, many things are much easier when they're tied up. God, you think I just had sex? Anyway, that's not much worse. That was fun. And, you know, this is what I mean. Huge pain in the ass, especially when you do it by yourself. But much better for the plant. But not for me. It is where it should be. And also, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but this one is a Fargesia. So Fargesias, where this one stood beforehand, it gets brutal sun all day. And you know what, Fargesias, they can deal with it, but they prefer half shade. Full sun is more for, you know, like the Pseudosassa or the Philiostachyses, you know, the running bamboos. So they like the brutal sun. Fargesias, not so much. They prefer a little bit more shadiness in their life. Actually, I quite like that too, shadiness. Anyway, again, Fargesias, half shade, and they don't run. They've got clumpers. Obviously, they get bigger through the years and stuff, so you know, you can cut some off, but they don't have runners like Philiostachyses do, or the Pseudosassa. Anything with sassa is kind of like, whew. Anyway, let's get this going. So, it's in the new position. All I'm going to do now is just continue to water it, and also, as you water it, the soil tends to compact a little bit, especially mine because it's really super sandy soil. Super sandy. And yeah, so I could just keep on backfilling it with soil, and that's it. I'm just going to take a little tie off. Just keep on watering it, and then happy days. That's it just now.